Hello everybody and welcome to a news, speculation and other stuff video. Today we're talking about, of course, the aftermath of the Jumputi 2.5 anniversary event. What comes next and we've had... Okay, let's talk teasers, because we had a teaser which you would have seen. If you're following us on Twitter, if you're following the official Twitter, you definitely will have seen it, because we have talked about it. There has been two little things teased by the official Twitter account. One of these was put in game also. The first thing was, of course, the tease that new series would be added to the game. The wording is new works. I'll put it on the screen for you so you can take a look. And it essentially appears to be Rengoku telling us, hey, yo, by the way, new work's coming. And the image they show is fire, or the emotes, the emojis, fire, and sweet potato. So some kind of roasted sweet potato. I have been racking my brain for the last since they tweeted this pretty much, because I am almost certain I remember in the not too distant past reading a series in Shonen Jump where the roasted sweet potato was like part of one of the stories. It was like one of the storylines was like the main character, and he or she was having a roasted sweet potato. I might be going mad. Maybe, probably quite likely I'm going mad. But I could have sworn. Now, that being said, it is quite a common thing overseas for them to have roasted sweet potato with a sort of festival, a sort of celebration. And I have a feeling that our theories, my theories, and the other people in the Discord and on YouTube and Twitter and whatever, the theories about the second part of the anniversary weren't too far off. But we just got it a little bit wrong, in the sense that the second half of the anniversary was some like reprint festival thing we've had on this week. We had the Kimetsu no Yaiba reprints and the One Piece reprints. But we still have not arrived at the island. You may have noticed we still haven't got the reward for the completed ship. We got the reward for part 1, part 2, part 3. We do not have the reward for the completed ship. This event officially does not end until the 21st, which is this week. It's coming up pretty soon. It's coming up on Wednesday. So, normally, events are announced 2 days before they start. The next event would start, I would assume, at the end of this one. So, that would suggest that we have coming up on the 19th, tomorrow, as of me recording this, an announcement letting us know what is happening on the 21st. Potentially, we could be seeing a full event. Now, I'm thinking, right, these things all tie together, so I'll tell you the second thing first, and then we'll tie it all together with a bow. The second thing is it's been officially announced that a Kimetsu no Yaiba Feature Festival #2 Infinite Castle arc will be held from early November. Well, first of all, I mean, Kimetsu no Yaiba getting 2 feature festivals in 1 year, while to some people might be a bit much, and I would agree it is a bit much. I love this series to death, and they are covering my favourite arc. It is not officially the final arc, there is another arc after it, but it's kind of like, it's where a lot of the cool shit that I was waiting for to happen happened. I do apologise to anybody that hasn't read the anime, because you are going to get spoiled during the game. I will talk spoilers a little bit later, but for now I'm going to avoid the spoilers. I'm just going to say that Kimetsu no Yaiba we'll be getting a feature festival #2 early November. Now, to me, seeing that the 21st is a Wednesday, they have been starting a lot of events on Wednesdays recently, because it seems like they don't want to put event info out on a Friday and wait for it to come around to the next week. So they put it out on the Monday when they get back to work after the weekend, and then the event drops on the Wednesday. I feel like that's happened a few times now, and I think that's what's happening here as well. So, say they drop the news on Monday the 19th, and then the event starts on the 21st, and that event would be the festival. Us arriving back at Jumputi Island, and we are celebrating it with quote-unquote new works, new series being added to the game, amongst other things. That event will run from the 21st, 2 weeks, until the 4th of November, aka early November, and that is also a Wednesday, might I add. So we would get the announcement on the 2nd of November of the full details of the Kimetsu no Yaiba event. Maybe we get teasers throughout the week before. Sometimes they do that. And then on the 4th, we would get the release of that event. And that would also coincide with a new tower unit, which will be coming out about the, I believe, the 16th. So it would be right at the end of this event. So the end of the Kimetsu no Yaiba event, there should be a new tower unit. I know we didn't get a tower unit last time, but that is where all the jewels and stuff that are in the store would be ending. So I would hope that on the back end of the Kimetsu no Yaiba event, maybe we see a new tower unit or something. As for what I expect from this like little event that's teasing some new stuff, new series, obviously we've got to kind of expect Buso Ranking, because it's the only series that they talked about being added to the game that we have actual like sprite work for. So Buso Ranking should be coming, Siren should be coming, Boruto maybe, We Never Learn maybe, I don't really know. It's also interesting with We Never Learn because that definitely has the festival theme. A lot of times festivals play a big part in the story, and there is one major plot point that hinges on a festival and a fireworks display. So logically would be the perfect time to throw that in here, bearing in mind they have said it is planned to be added to the game at some point. And so yeah, I don't know what to expect in terms of like a limited. I mean, if Boruto's being added, maybe we get like you know, Hokage Naruto or something. But are we really going to get another Naruto limited after we just had Hashirama for 3 weeks? Are we going to have another one? I don't know. Technically, it would be a Boruto limited if that was the case. But we don't really have much information on this event, or if it even exists. I mean, bear in mind that they said early November. I mean, this Kimetsu no Yaiba event could start on the, like, what? The 1st of... No, that doesn't even make sense, because even if it started on the 1st of November, on the Sunday, we still only have events running until the 28th in the form of reprints. So all the reprints would end, we'd have to have, like, new reprints start. So new stuff has to drop on Wednesday. That's my opinion. And I have a feeling that that might become a common trend for certain events, where they decide to say, okay, we're going to do a 3-week event instead of a 2-week event, and the last week, we're going to bring a bunch of reprints back. And that way, it gives players that are like newer to the game more time to not only farm the new stuff, but to farm the old stuff, and it gives veteran players a chance to get extra goodies from the store, and also go and farm those event droplets that they're going to need to buy all the jewel shards and stuff from the store each week. So, that's what I'm assuming. I don't know. As for the Kimetsu no Yaiba event, and this is where we talk about spoilers. If you want to say spoiler free, I can't help you with in-game. That's just how it's going to be. They are going to spoil you. But I can at least warn you for this video, if you want to stay spoiler free, I'm going to be talking about post-anime content here. So, Kimetsu no Yaiba fans, if you click off now, I will completely understand. Let's talk about what we have in the game so far. Obviously, Kimetsu no Yaiba has already spoiled a bunch of stuff for anime-only viewers. In Japan, it's not really... I don't think it's really a thing, the whole spoilers thing. It's not really a thing. It very much is here, and the fact that we've covered a lot of fights, actually, that weren't in the anime. I mean, technically, when Kimetsu no Yaiba dropped, there had been no anime. So, Rui was technically a spoiler, I guess. Tanjiro was technically a spoiler. But then once the anime had started, we got Daki and the fight with Tengen and all the main cast. So, technically that was spoilers. Then the next feature festival was spoilers as well, because that covered a bunch of content that is not going to be animated anytime soon, because it's the arc. It's not the arc after the movie, it's the arc after that in the Swordsmith Village. So, loads of spoilers. But this, they have specifically said, this is the Infinity Castle arc. So this is the final arc before the final battle with Muzan. Or I guess you could say it's part of the final battle with Muzan. And this arc covers pretty much everything in the Infinite Castle. So there are a lot of possible characters. There are still loads of characters that we don't have. And how they would be implemented, I don't know necessarily. Like, there's some characters like, let's say, Urokodaki-san. Technically has a small role in this, in some of the cutaways. Technically has a role in the story. Do I see him being added in this event? No. Is it possible? Yes. The issue is, this is so popular. So unbelievably popular. And they want to capitalize on that, and I get it. But how do you fit everything into a one feature festival? This is a huge arc, you know, and loads of characters deserve V2s. But then there's loads of characters that haven't even been added yet. We still don't have Himejima. We still don't have Sanemi and Genya. We still don't have, well, I mean, all of the elites of the 6 demon moons. You know, Kokushibo and Kaigaku. We do have Akaza, but we could easily have a version 2 Akaza. And, like, we still don't have all of the pillars. Obviously, I mentioned Himejima and Sanemi. We still don't have Iguro either. So, it's quite difficult. There's also plenty of, like, support characters. Tamayo, Murata. And I actually... One that came to my mind for a legend summon is Kirya Ubuyashiki, which is the son of Kaguya Ubuyashiki, who is obviously already a legend summon in the game. But Kirya's role in this arc is guiding everybody around the Infinite Castle. So it would totally make sense for him to play a supporting role and the role of a legend summon. Whether that would be the case or not, I don't know. As for some of the other stuff, I mean, there's a few V2s I'd like to see. I don't necessarily see happening. Tengen would be a great version 2. If not just for the huge change in his appearance, but of course, he doesn't play a major active role in this particular story. He does in the training arc, but they haven't said necessarily whether they're covering that. The one quote we do have, which you will have seen in the thumbnail, is from Zenitsu, and that quote is from the training arc, the end of the training arc, where he is with Himejima, or he's with Tanjiro during Himejima's training. Tanjiro is ready to move on. And, like, I know that a lot of people don't like Zenitsu, from the Western audience at least, because of how he acts in the anime. Because in the early arcs, he does act kind of stupid. Some people comparing him to, like, Mineta from My Hero Academia or something like that. But he's also, like, quite a big crybaby and whatever. This is where he becomes a beast. This is where he changes. He completely snaps. And you see a lot of great moments with him during the end of the training arc, the actual in the castle, and the final battle. He's so much better. He is so much better in those fights and in those scenes. I'm really hoping to get a version 2 Zenitsu, which obviously makes sense. Zenitsu versus Kaigaku. We have Inosuke and Kana versus Doma. We have, like, the whole crew in the gang versus Kokushibo. Plus we have the potential Yorichi Limited, maybe? I don't know who would be the Limited. Here's the thing. We've got Tanjiro and Giyu who fight against Akaza. Could they potentially be the red double tap unit? Maybe. I still think that's going to be Luffy and Ace, but maybe they're going to save Luffy and Ace to be a Muso at this point. And for anyone asking, do I think there's going to be a Muso during this event? The answer is no. I think they may have seen a certain amount of backlash with the Muso. And I'm not saying that they won't do it, I'm just saying they've said they're planning for about 2 a year. They're going to space them out. They're going to space out about 2 a year. Just because it's so many rubies. And obviously they give out loads. They gave out so many during this event. But there is the downside of the amount of people who didn't get all the steps done, but also did not pull on the way up. They didn't get what they wanted on the way up. You know, there were so many limiteds in the pool, and I know a lot of people that maybe got like 1, 0. And sure, if you get the Hashirama at the end of the 32 multis, you can at least say, I got him. But 32 multis is 24,000 rubies. 24,000. And I just think a lot of people couldn't hack it. And I don't blame them. But they have said that this is like the new era of Jumputi. And I'm willing to believe them. I think they're going to stretch some of the bigger events to 3 weeks to intertwine the reprints and use that as a way to justify making some of those events a little bit bigger. At the moment, we're getting like 10 units to last us 2 weeks. If they have like 11, 12 units to last us 3 weeks, or 13 units maybe, that's still going to be less units total being made. So it's a little bit of time saved on their part. That's just a possibility, obviously. That's just speculation. But based on what I saw from that anniversary event, that's what I thought. And sure, we don't know what to expect with this celebration of arriving at the island, whether we're going to get a lot of rubies, whether there's going to be desirable units, desirable limiteds. I don't know. But this Kimetsu no Yaiba event, they're planning to take rubies. They are going to squeeze the Kimetsu no Yaiba fans dry. And I don't really blame them, because it's the biggest, hottest shit out there right now. It is currently the most popular series. It's kind of weird to say, but it's just true. They managed to get on trending. Jumputi Heroes managed to get on trending with a hashtag for a giveaway for Rengoku, who is an old limited. They don't get on trending for new limiteds, but they got on trending for an old limited. That's kind of where we're at. That's kind of how crazy this is. To be fair, they did do it a little bit differently. They got us to tweet out the hashtag, but still, that is mad. And I think, I didn't check, but I think that's on like, let me actually check that now. I think that's on a lot of retweets. That's on a lot. It's on 26.9k retweets. Now, that's good for us, because for every 2,000 retweets, we get a Kimetsu no Yaiba ticket. So, as it stands, we're getting 13 Kimetsu no Yaiba tickets, which is not bad. I already have all of them, but, you know, dupes, maybe, if I'm lucky. If not, just a bunch of silver and gold is to be expected. But I would say, expect this event to be relatively generous, but I'm expecting 2 limiteds. I'm expecting 2 limiteds. I'm expecting, bro, maybe even 2 side gacha. Maybe like 3 on one side, 3 on the other. Like, you could easily do a side gacha with side A being the Hashira that haven't been added yet, being Himejima-san, being Sanemi, and being Iguro. Then have Genya be some kind of free unit. Side B can be version 2 Zenitsu, version 2 Inosuke, version 2 Kanao. Bro, in Inosuke and Kanao, I need. You don't understand. That fight for me is the absolute peak of the series. So I need them. And then for a limited, I think they're gonna do a limited Yoriichi. Flashback limited style, you know, we've had a few of those, and a limited dual unit Tanjiro and Giyu. Now, it's potentially possible. I mean, the Giyu we have doesn't have the awakened mark on his face. He, you know, if you watch Tokito's special, Michiro Tokito, his does have it when he uses his special. So that is obviously the form of him fighting. Is it Gyoko? So he has the mark, but in the final fight at the end, it's kind of the same version of the character, because it's, you know, he still has the mark. But for Giyu, the version we have in game does not have the mark. The version in this fight does. Against Akaza, it does. So potentially a new version of him is warranted, whether it be a dual unit with Tanjiro or not, I don't know. As for Tanjiro, absolutely a new unit is warranted, because the version we've got is prior to him receiving the Slayer sword, which is the sword that was found inside the doll of Yoriichi, and that sword got refined and got given the hilt from Rengoku's sword. So this is the iconic final weapon of Tanjiro in the manga, and it is the one that he uses right up until the end. And it's got Rengoku's hilt and this amazing looking blade on it. So that is warranting a new version of the character, especially as it's the first time he sort of properly uses the quote-unquote invisible world. That's what they called it in the Viz version of the manga. The invisible world to get the advantage over Akaza. So, realistically speaking, new version of Tanjiro and Giyu both warranted. I feel like a dual unit is on the table. I'm not saying it will happen, I'm saying it's definitely on the table. That's my prediction, really. Those two as limited's number 2, maybe, or limited number 1, maybe, I don't know. And then Yoriichi as the other limited. And then I think we need to get a version of Muzan, but also that's the thing. We don't have base form Muzan. But then again, we don't really see base form Muzan in this arc that much. It's mostly him just getting the shit stabbed out of him over and over and over again. So potentially Kokushibo could be countered by Yoriichi, and then could also be countered by the side gacha that has Himejima and Sanemi. And then Sabito doesn't really need to counter anybody, but you could, if you wanted to, you could bring back, what's her name? Is it Hakime? Or the Biwa demon. You could bring her back and make that a stage where you're not farming her, but you're maybe farming Yushiro as a unit. You farm her to get Yushiro, maybe. And then I think Zenitsu and Inosuke can now have to be gacha, side B gacha, whatever. And then we can have Kaigaku and Doma countered by them. That already is a big event. That's how many characters is that? That's like 1, 2. Like if we say Genya's a free unit, if we say Yushiro is a free unit, and we say Kokushibo and Kaigaku are free units. That's like 4 or 5, right? 1, 2, 3. I've got like 4 there. 4 units. You'd probably get 5, right? But then again, we're getting 6 gacha units in my fantasy world. We're getting 6 gacha units and 2 limiteds. So, God, it's so hard, guys. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what this arc is too big. Plus, you gotta remember that the flashback with Yoriichi, I think technically, while he does show up in this arc, the full flashback doesn't happen towards late in the arc. So, like, how are they gonna pull this all together? I don't know. I honestly don't know. The thing I'm looking forward to most is the version 2 Inosuke and Kano against Doma. I'm hoping Doma's a catastrophe, but then again, Doma wouldn't be a catastrophe if he's not countered by a limited. And he wouldn't be countered by Yoriichi, and he wouldn't be countered by Giyu and Tanjiro. Those would be countering a new Akaza catastrophe and the Kokushibo catastrophe. So that would mean that he wouldn't even be a catastrophe in this world. So you can understand why I'm having a bit of trouble with this, because while Kimetsu no Yaiba as a series doesn't have as many characters as like your Naruto's and your One Piece's, this particular arc is huge. This particular arc introduces a lot of characters and a lot of battles and a lot of cool moments that we don't already have represented. Not to mention the fact we've only got one version of Nezuko so far, we've only got one version of Muzan so far, but both of those should be getting multiple versions realistically. You could even make an argument for a version 2 Shinobu, her fight against Doma. You could make an argument for Tamayo to be added, maybe as a legend summon or something. Like, I don't... Even, like, Ubiyashiki Kaguya. This is the first time he does something that would warrant him being upgraded from legend summon to limited, you know, in his big moment. I talked a lot here. Basically, I'm excited. Look, my card's on the table. I'm excited. I should be saying, oh, they're going back and doing the same things over again. Kimetsu no Yaiba number 2 in 1 year. That's ridiculous. Oh, they're going to release all these new series and I won't be able to pull on them because Kimetsu no Yaiba. Bro, it's Kimetsu no Yaiba. I'm just so gassed. I'm so gassed. If they are covering the Inosuke Kanao Goma fight, I'm gassed. Anything above that, I am delighted. So that's going to do it for this video. I've just been waffling. We're going to do a stream on Wednesday, so I'm kind of hoping that there is actually going to be some kind of news. There should be. There should be news Monday, and then on Wednesday we should be getting a full event release. But until we know more, I'll see you guys later.